Listen to me carefully. There comes a moment in every person's life when you have to stop blaming your circumstances and start confronting your potential. Not tomorrow. Not next month. Not when you have more money. Not when people finally recognize you. Now. Because somewhere inside you is a version of yourself that is stronger than the person you have been settling for. There is more inside you. More courage. More discipline. More creativity. More strength. More determination. More life. But potential means nothing if you never decide to use it. You can have talent and still remain stuck. You can have intelligence and still live beneath your possibilities. You can have dreams and still wake up every day doing absolutely nothing to move toward them. And that is one of the greatest tragedies of human life. Not failure. Unused potential. Think about that. Failure means you tried. Failure means you stepped into the arena. Failure means you were willing to risk disappointment in pursuit of something meaningful. But regret comes from knowing that you could have done more and choosing not to. You don't want to reach the end of your life and realize that fear made more decisions for you than courage ever did. You don't want to look back and say, I could have. I should have. I wish I had tried. I wish I had believed in myself. No. Your life deserves more than excuses. Your future deserves more than procrastination. And your potential deserves more than fear. So today, I want you to make a decision. Not a temporary emotional decision. A real decision. A decision that says, I am going to become the person I know I can become. You may not know exactly how you're going to get there. That's okay. You don't need to know every step. You only need enough courage to take the next one. That's how transformation begins. Not with perfection. With a decision. Maybe you've been disappointed. Maybe you've tried something before and it didn't work. Maybe you started a business and lost money. Maybe you applied for opportunities and were rejected. Maybe you trusted people who betrayed you. Maybe you worked hard and nobody noticed. Maybe you gave everything you had to something, only to watch it fall apart. And now you're asking yourself, what's the point? Let me tell you something. The fact that something didn't work does not mean that you are a failure. It means that particular attempt didn't work. That's all. Don't turn an event into an identity. You failed at something. You are not a failure. You experienced rejection. You are not rejected by life. You made mistakes. You are not a mistake. You lost something. You are not lost. There is a difference. And if you understand that difference, you can begin again. You can rebuild. You can learn. You can grow. You can become wiser than you were yesterday. Every mistake contains information. Every setback can teach you something. Every difficult season can develop something inside you that comfort never could. Sometimes life doesn't remove the mountain. Sometimes life develops the person who is capable of climbing it. And that's what you need to understand. You are not waiting for life to become easy. You're becoming stronger. Look at the world around you. People are constantly comparing themselves, comparing their careers, their homes, their relationships, their bodies, their income, their achievements, their lifestyles. And social media has made this even worse. You scroll through your phone and see somebody who seems to have everything. They're traveling. They're successful. They're smiling. They're building businesses. They're buying houses. They're achieving goals. And suddenly you look at your own life and think, I'm behind. But you don't know their entire story. You are comparing your behind the scenes to somebody else's highlight reel. You are seeing their results, but not their sacrifices. You see the celebration, but not the years of preparation. You see the success, but not the failures. You see the confidence, but not the nights they question themselves. Stop comparing your chapter 2 to somebody else's chapter 20. Your journey is yours. Your timing is yours. Your lessons are yours. Your responsibility is simple. Become better than you were yesterday. That's the competition. Not them. You. Can you become more disciplined than you were yesterday? Can you become more focused? Can you become more patient? Can you become more courageous? Can you become more consistent? Can you make one better decision today? That's how a life changes. One decision at a time. One habit at a time. One day at a time. You don't need to completely transform your life overnight. You need to stop destroying your future one day at a time. Think about your daily habits. What do you do when you wake up? Do you immediately reach for your phone? Do you spend an hour consuming other people's lives before you even think about your own? Do you tell yourself you'll start tomorrow? Do you make promises to yourself and break them repeatedly? Because every time you make a promise to yourself and don't keep it, you teach your mind something. You teach yourself, my word doesn't matter. And that's dangerous. Because confidence isn't just about believing that you are talented. Confidence is built through keeping promises to yourself. If you say you're going to wake up at a certain time, get up. If you say you're going to exercise, exercise. If you say you're going to study, study. If you say you're going to work on your business, work. If you say you're going to spend an hour developing your skill, do it. Not because you're trying to impress anybody. Because you're teaching yourself, I can trust me. That's where real confidence begins. You want motivation? Here's something you need to understand. Motivation is temporary. Some days you will feel unstoppable. Some days you'll wake up excited. Some days you'll feel like you can conquer the world. But other days, you won't feel like doing anything. You'll feel tired. You'll feel discouraged. You'll feel distracted. You'll question whether your dream is worth it. That's normal. You cannot build your future based on how you feel every morning. You build it based on what you are committed to. Discipline says, I don't feel like doing it, but I'm doing it anyway. That's powerful. Because your feelings change. Your commitment can remain. You don't have to feel confident to take action. Sometimes action creates confidence. You don't have to feel ready. Sometimes starting makes you ready. You don't have to know everything. Start learning. You don't have to be perfect. Start improving. You don't have to have all the answers. Start asking better questions. There is a version of you that you've never met yet. A version that wakes up earlier. A version that doesn't need constant approval. A version that can walk away from distractions. A version that knows how to say no. A version that respects time. A version that works when nobody is watching. A version that doesn't collapse every time something goes wrong. A version that understands that pain is not always punishment. Sometimes pain is preparation. That version of you is not imaginary. It is a possibility. But possibility requires participation. You cannot sit on the couch and think your potential will magically become your reality. You have to participate in your own transformation. You have to get uncomfortable. You have to do things you've never done. You have to learn things you don't understand. You have to risk looking foolish. You have to risk rejection. You have to risk failure. Because there is no guarantee. But here's the truth. There is also no guarantee that staying where you are will make you happy. Comfort has a price. And sometimes the price of comfort is your potential. Maybe you're waiting for somebody to believe in you. Stop waiting. Believe in yourself first. Maybe you're waiting for somebody to encourage you. Encourage yourself. Maybe you're waiting for somebody to give you permission. You don't need permission to improve your life. Maybe you're waiting for somebody to save you. Start saving yourself. This doesn't mean you don't need people. We all need support. We all need community. We all need people who believe in us. But you cannot outsource responsibility for your life. At some point, you have to say, "This is my life. These are my decisions. This is my responsibility." And when you take responsibility, something changes. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" And you start asking, "What can I do about it?" That's a powerful question. Because you may not control what happened, but you can control what happens next. You can't change yesterday, but you can influence tomorrow. You can't control what somebody said about you, but you can control whether you believe them. You can't control every obstacle, but you can control your response. You can't control every rejection, but you can control whether you keep moving. That is where your power lives, in your response. Let's talk about fear. Fear has stopped more dreams than failure ever did. People say, "I failed." But many people never even tried. They were afraid of what people would say. Afraid of being laughed at. Afraid of losing money. Afraid of being rejected. Afraid of being judged. Afraid of not being good enough. And because they were afraid, they stayed exactly where they were. Years passed, and the fear remained. Here's the question. What has fear cost you? How many opportunities did you avoid? How many conversations did you never have? How many ideas did you never pursue? How many dreams did you abandon before giving them a real chance? Fear doesn't always scream. Sometimes fear whispers. Maybe later. You're not ready. Someone else is better. You'll probably fail. Don't embarrass yourself. Wait until things improve. And if you listen long enough, those whispers become your lifestyle. You become comfortable with postponing your own life. Don't do that. Fear can come with you. You don't have to eliminate fear before you move. Move while you're afraid. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is deciding that something matters more than your fear. Your dream must become bigger than your excuses. Your future must become more important than your comfort. And listen carefully. You don't need everybody to understand your vision. Some people will not understand. Some people will doubt you. Some people will tell you that your dream is unrealistic. Some people will laugh. Some people will remind you of every mistake you've ever made. Don't hate them. Just don't let their limitations become your limitations. People often judge your future based on your past. They remember who you were. But you are allowed to become someone new. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to surprise people. You are allowed to become stronger. Your past may explain you, but it does not have to control you. You can decide that today is the beginning of a different chapter. Not because yesterday didn't matter. Because tomorrow matters too. Now I want you to think about your goals. Not the goals you tell people because they sound impressive. Your real goals. The things you secretly want. The dream you keep thinking about. The business you want to build. The skill you want to master. The body you want to create. The person you want to become. The life you want to experience. Why haven't you started? Be honest. Maybe you've been waiting for motivation. Maybe you've been distracted. Maybe you're afraid. Maybe you don't have a plan. Maybe you started and stopped. Maybe you don't believe you're capable. Whatever the reason is, recognize it. Then stop worshiping it. Your excuse may explain why you haven't started. It doesn't justify never starting. You can begin small. You can begin badly. You can begin with limited resources. You can begin with 1 hour. You can begin with 1 page. You can begin with 1 workout. You can begin with 1 phone call. You can begin with 1 application. You can begin with 1 video. You can begin with 1 lesson. You can begin today. And that first step may look insignificant. But don't underestimate small beginnings. A tree begins with a seed. A building begins with a foundation. A journey begins with a step. A transformed life begins with a decision. You have been given time. And time is the one resource you cannot replace. Money can be earned again. Opportunities can return. Mistakes can be corrected. But yesterday is gone. So don't spend today mourning yesterday. Learn from it. Then move. Don't spend tomorrow worrying about tomorrow. Prepare for it. Then move. Your life is happening now. Not someday. Now. This moment. This day. This opportunity. And maybe your circumstances aren't perfect. They don't have to be. Start with what you have. Use what you know. Learn what you don't know. Build from where you are. You don't need a perfect life to begin creating a better one. You need a willing mind, a disciplined spirit, a clear direction, and the courage to keep going. There will be days when nobody applauds. Do the work anyway. There will be days when nobody notices. Do the work anyway. There will be days when the results are invisible. Do the work anyway. There will be days when you wonder whether it's worth it. Do the work anyway. Because success is often being built during the seasons when nothing appears to be happening. The seed grows underground before anyone sees the tree. Your preparation may be invisible. Your discipline may be invisible. Your sacrifices may be invisible. But invisible doesn't mean meaningless. Keep building. Keep learning. Keep improving. Keep showing up. Because one day, the results that people call overnight success may actually be the product of years of work nobody saw. So today, I want you to make a commitment. Stop waiting to become extraordinary before you start acting like your life matters. Your life already matters. Your dreams already matter. Your future already matters. And you have greatness within you. Not because someone famous said it. Not because someone promised you success. But because human potential is greater than most people ever allow themselves to discover. You don't know what you're capable of until you challenge yourself. You don't know how strong you are until life demands strength. You don't know how disciplined you can become until you stop negotiating with your excuses. You don't know how far you can go until you start walking. So walk. Take the step. Make the call. Write the plan. Start the business. Learn the skill. Read the book. Exercise. Apply. Create. Practice. Fail. Learn. Try again. And again. And again. Because your life is not defined by the number of times you fall. It is shaped by your willingness to rise. Tomorrow, I want you to wake up differently. Don't reach for your phone first. Reach for your purpose. Ask yourself, what is the one thing I can do today that will make my future better? Then do it. Not 10 things. One meaningful thing. Then another tomorrow. And another the next day. That's how you build momentum. That's how you build confidence. That's how you build character. That's how you build a life. One day at a time. One decision at a time. One promise kept at a time. And eventually, you will look back and realize you didn't change your entire life in one day. You changed your life by refusing to waste another day. So stop waiting. Stop doubting. Stop asking whether you're good enough. Start becoming good enough through practice. Start becoming stronger through discipline. Start becoming wiser through experience. Start becoming courageous through action. You don't need to see the entire staircase. You need to take the next step. And then the next. And then the next. Because there is something waiting on the other side of your consistency. There is a stronger version of you waiting. A wiser version. A more confident version. A more disciplined version. A more courageous version. And you meet that person every time you refuse to quit. So stand up. Look at your life. Look at your choices. Look at your habits. And make a decision. You will not waste your potential. You will not spend another year wishing you had started. You will not let fear make every important decision. You will not allow temporary discomfort to steal your permanent possibilities. You will work. You will learn. You will grow. You will fall. You will rise. And you will keep moving. Because your story is still being written. And the next chapter can be different. But only if you decide to write it differently. You have more in you. Now it's time to prove it, not to the world, but to yourself.